Good morning. My name is Arvindan, register number UR16CS136, and this is the second exercise that is of array. So, in this exercise, what I'm doing is I'm taking two matrices, which is square matrices, and these two matrices are being multiplied, and the multiplied resultant matrix is being shown in the output. So let's check how this experiment goes on. Initially I have imported java.util scanner class I'm importing so that I can take the variables value from the user. So inside public static void main here I am taking inside this void main I am taking int n. Now scanner input, this is one variable for scanner reference variable where I am creating a new scanner. Now with this variable I am taking input of the base of squared matrix. So the two matrices which we are going to multiply should be squared, and also they should be equal in size, then only it will be multiplied properly. And n is equal to input dot next int. As usual, we are taking the input from the user for the base of square matrix. Now here I am initializing int a, int b and int c of 2 into 2 dimensions. So that dimension will be set by this n input. Whatever the dimension they are giving, whether it is 3 by 3 or 4 by 4, it will be given by this one. So this is a two-dimensional matrix. So here enter the elements of first matrix row wise. So as a row wise we have to put the elements. So this is a for loop which runs from 0 till n, and inside another for loop j which runs 0 to n. So it will be taking the input as row wise into the filling column of a of I and j. And in the second line we are taking enter the elements of second matrix, that is also seen row wise. This for loop will run from 0 to n, and this for loop will run from 0 to n, j loop, and it will be stored in B array. This was stored in A array, the first matrix. This is storing in B array, that is the second matrix. So the resultant one, that is multiplying the matrices, we have to store it in the C array. So same thing, the I loop will be running from 0 to n, which will record all the row elements. J is equal to 0 to n, which will record all the column elements, and k is equal to 0 to n. It will be taking out this loop, it will be executing this one. So what is C of I j will do for the first element? If C of 0 comma 1, how we are finding that is we have to multiply the first element, that is 0 comma 0 of first array, and then here also, like if there is one matrix, first matrix, then the first row and the second matrix first column will be multiplied and then added together, and it will be stored in here C of ij, and then the product will be displayed, C of ij array will be displayed in this loop. So let's check how this runs. Enter the base of square matrix 2, enter the elements of first, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the multiplying of matrices for is 7, 10, 15, 22. So let's go to the next question, which is finding the consecutive numbers. So if I am taking in an array A certain numbers which are not in an order, like 6, 1, 3, 200, 2, 4, 70 and 5, then how we can produce the output as a consecutive numbers of length 6. So here is another array which is B, which has been initialized as till 6, size is 6. So when I am taking t and minimum, so inside this loop which will be running from I0 to 8, because there are 8 elements, we are initializing the first element as minimum. So we are checking when j loop, which is I plus 1, that is, it will be checking the next element. If that element is less than minimum, then minimum will be changed with the jth element, and then we are swapping it with the I, a of I. So the minimum element will be going to the first location, and the maximum one will be swapped out. So that should be printed out. So this loop is checking whether a of k is equal to a of k plus 1 minus 1. So if the first element, that is the zeroth element, if it is equal to, if it is same of a of k plus 1 minus 1, that is, if first element is 1, then second element should be 2. So if that condition occurs, then it should be equal, it should be set as equal. Otherwise, then also it should be b of k is equal to a of k should be printed here. So and in the end, simply the length is, it will be showing out the length of the array. Let's check the output. See, it has given the length is 6 because the array size is 6, and it has given us the consecutive numbers. So let's jump to the next question, that is pattern array. Here pattern array is, we have to show the anti-diagonal elements alone. So inside the main, I am initializing I and L as 0 initially, where J is also being declared, and I am initializing an array A with these elements 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70 and 90, 100 and 110. So this is a while loop, and we have to get anti-diagonal elements. Okay, so I is equal to 0 and J is initially 1. So if I is less than L plus 1, then it should be printing out A of ij plus 1 blank space, and I should be incremented. So it will be taking out these, and then I will be incremented, and j minus minus. So the column is for j, so j will be reduced, and this will be keep on happening until I is less than L plus 1. So the L plus plus will be printed, and then when L is again initialized as 0, so when L will be less than 2, then I is equal to L plus 1, j is equal to 2 as initialized, and then j is greater than 1. So system.out print will be printing A of ij, and then I plus plus will increment this value of I. So first element will be printed, next it will come down, next 1 and 2 element will be printed, next it will come down, 1 and 3 will be printed. So 3 is the maximum, and after that it will reduce off, and then in the next line 2 elements will be printed, next line it will come, 1 element will be printed, and it will come out of the loop. Let's see how this output looks like. So this is the output. See, 10, 20, 50, 30, 60, 90, 70, 100 and 110. This is like an anti-diagonal elements. So that's all for this experiment. Thank you.